Today is January 4th, 2022. My name is Charles Suter, and I'm presenting part 15 of my series, The Rational Mind, A Guide to Rational Living. This presentation is focused on your future self. My main message: our rationalist works to create a better life for his future self. You don't have just one self, but many selves spread throughout your lifetime. Your present self is who you are right now, the person who's listening to this presentation. Your future self is who you will become in the future, and you have an eternity of future selves that stretch out far into the future. Everything your present self does right now, in the present, influences all your future selves. If you do the right things now, your many future selves will benefit. You must balance investing in the future against enjoying the present. Whenever you don't do what needs to be done now, you are withdrawing benefits from your future self. Whenever you apply self-discipline and do more of what needs to be done now, the more benefits you are conferring on your many future selves. Proposition 1. Life is a balance between your present and future selves. What you do or don't do today has consequences for your many future selves. If you were to indulge into toxic, addictive habits, they're going to have consequences for your future selves. Of course, any omissions, things that you're supposed to do today that you don't do, will be paid for by your many future selves. Never forget the impact of today's decisions on your many future selves when you make a decision today, especially those decisions with long-term consequences that might impact your character, your health, your wealth, your relationships, or anything that can affect your future happiness. A rationalist makes deliberate choices how to distribute his work-leisure ratio between his present and future selves. If you procrastinate or put off onerous chores because your present self wants to enjoy the moment, then these same chores will eventually have to be done by your future self. How much unpleasantness you want to spare your future self is a reasonable consideration to be included in any decision you're about to make about how you spend your time. Proposition 2. You only have one present self, but a lifetime of future selves. Your future selves need protecting. They will eventually become a present self. Give more consideration to your future self when making life-defining decisions. Bad decisions not only have present, but future consequences. You have choices to make as to how much of today's workload you will do today and how much work to push off into the future to burden your future self. By doing more work today, you are actively investing in your future self. By procrastinating and pushing off until tomorrow what you should have done today, you are withdrawing benefits from the future to consume today. Finally, you could choose a good balance and spread out a lifetime's workload evenly between your present and future selves. Just be cognizant that today's decisions to procrastinate are diminishing the satisfaction of your future self. There's no such thing as a free lunch. Someone has to pay for your dalliances today. That someone who will pay the price is your future self. The future to do what needs to be done today will become the regrets of your future self. Proposition 3. A rationalist invests wisely in his future by doing more today so that he will be able to relax and rest a little bit more tomorrow. The more work you get done today, the less you have to do tomorrow. Ask what your future self would think about the decision you're about to make right now. Every decision has a multi-period impact on your well-being, so choose wisely. Your present self has some important choices to make, and what you choose will impact every future self until the end of your life. This moment is the first of all your many future moments. Think not only what satisfactions you can give to your present self, but also what your present self can do to invest for the satisfaction of all your future selves. If you overindulge today, focusing on instant gratification, or don't take care of business, this type of hedonistic perspective will rob value from the happiness of all your future values. Your future self is the person you're going to be as soon as tomorrow. If you delay an unpleasant task, it will likely be more difficult and more unpleasant when your future self has to deal with it later. My final message: your future self will be grateful for any sacrifices that you make today. You should have more compassion for your future self when you make any decision to postpone important work or to indulge your present self. Whenever possible, use this dictate: do it today, whenever practical. Rather than putting off what should be done today to make your present self happy and perhaps adding more burdens to your future self, become more cognizant of your many future selves. Whatever you commit to doing, what needs to be done today, do it. Your many future selves will enjoy the benefits and be grateful for the life you just created for yourself. A rationalist is often investing in his future by doing more today so that his future self can take life easier. Life is a continuous succession of decisions on how best to balance life's many pleasures between your present and your many future selves. Anytime you choose to indulge, just make sure you're not robbing your future selves of anything important that you will regret later. That's all for now. Remember to stay positive. You'll be happier, healthier, and live longer.